All right, hi everyone. Preschools, right? Heaven on earth, as they say. No, not once has a person ever spoken these words. A child is pouring glitter in the pet fish's tank. Rest in peace, Mr. Bubbles. While another is breaking every crayon in half in a formerly pristine 64 pack, because why not make the kids who show early symptoms of OCD miserable? Among this chaos, a sweet, blonde girl sits by the toy chest, sharing her Lego blocks with another semi-obedient child. Yes, you are correct. That girl is the daughter my mother wishes she had. Instead, I am pouting in the corner because someone is drawing with the purple pen I use in class every day. So duh, it's basically mine, and duh, I still haven't gotten over it. I've never been good at sharing. I have serious trust issues when it comes to letting a friend borrow a piece of clothing. I struggle with this because I feel vulnerable. Vulnerability is uncomfortable and scary. By allowing someone to borrow an object of mine, I am at risk of never getting it back. And by opening up to someone that I care about, I am at risk of being seen as weak or inferior, and I might lose a relationship with that person altogether. However, by resisting vulnerability, we are forgetting the good that can come with it. A society where vulnerability is encouraged likely consists of people who exhibit compassion and caring. So today, let's talk about how society has placed a pressure on us to maintain a strong appearance. Next, we'll discuss how sharing a meaningful experience with another person is invaluable. And lastly, we'll teach both children and adults how to be more open. When we were babies, we certainly did not have trouble expressing how we felt, right? If we wanted food, we screamed until the neighbors filed a noise complaint. As toddlers, if we wanted to stay up past our bedtime, we were not going down without a fight. Eventually, we seem to lose this willingness, though, to speak about our emotions and wants, and this can especially be the case with men. Males often feel like they are not able to express themselves, and it can be hard to convince them to alter their ways. In fact, I don't agree with this, but some might even say the only man that's easy to change is one that's still in diapers. A New York Times article entitled "Teaching Men to be Emotionally Honest" includes findings from Boston Children's Hospital and Harvard Medical School in 1999. These results concluded that 6-month-old boys were more likely to whine, to show irritated facial expressions, to gesture to be carried, and to cry more than girls. So if this is the case, why do men often mature believing that showing any emotion besides anger weakens them? We must change this mindset that vulnerability is a more feminine quality. And while we see this issue among men in society, this lack of vulnerability is also problematic for couples in romantic relationships. Counselor Terry Gaspar acknowledges that vulnerability is crucial for a long-lasting marriage, and the absence of this element can oftentimes lead to divorce. In fact, according to the Pew Research Center, adults right now over the age of 50 are experiencing 2 times the amount of divorces than couples in the 1990s. And this might be due to the fact that these adults getting divorces now were taught as kids that vulnerability is an indicator of weakness. However, a Forbes article entitled "The 8 Myths About Emotions That Are Holding Us Back" says that being aware of what you are feeling and making a conscious effort to share those emotions with others when the appropriate time arises can signify strength. Fostering emotional expression in our country will make for a more loving and considerate nation, one where vulnerability is seen as a sign of strength rather than a weakness. But I'm not saying that I'm an expert at vulnerability. My selfish tendencies were noted by my mom at a young age, specifically when my younger brother was born. If I had it my way, I probably would have pushed my brother back inside my mom while the doctors were delivering him. I did not want to share the spotlight, and he was not getting his hands on my toys. As we grew up together, though, I realized the importance of having someone that I could share my feelings with. Preschoolers are open to building friendships with one another, and it helps for these kids to know that they have someone at school that they can talk to and spend time with. I mean, it helps to have a friend to survive a grueling day of tag, snacks, and nap time. As surface level as these relationships may seem, it really does help these kids. And similarly, my brother and I were able to build a friendship at a young age, which only grew to be more substantial as we matured. UCLA professor of psychology Matthew D. Lieberman led a study which concluded that emotions such as sadness, anger, and pain are actually lessened through vocalization. I would certainly not call my brother a therapist, but it was immensely helpful to have someone that I could talk to and spend time with as we grew up together. And this was especially meaningful after my parents got divorced. This decision was positive for my family, but at first it was unfamiliar, traveling between two houses every week and discovering who exactly my parents were on their own, and if I liked these individuals. As I went through this change, my brother was always there for me, and he provided a safe space for me to be completely vulnerable. Having someone to confide in and share this experience of divorce with prevented me from feeling alone. And from this, I learned that as scary as it can be to open up to another person, it's well worth the risks. But you don't have to have an experience like mine to learn to be vulnerable. For instance, the well-known intellectually challenging program for teens like me, Sesame Street, has a line in their song about emotions that is relevant to vulnerability. Every feeling is okay. Sesame Street and other young children's programs realize the importance of teaching kids at a young age that every emotion they are experiencing is healthy and valid in order to ease them into accepting vulnerability as adults. In the classroom, teachers can demonstrate this to their students by openly expressing any emotions that they might have. In a Washington Post article, teacher Ruben Rose notes that because teachers are hiding their sentiments from their students, they are missing opportunities for teachable moments where they might have a meaningful class discussion about feelings. Teachers function as role models for their students, so they hold great influence over their behavior. But outside of the classroom, there are healthy ways for us to express ourselves as well. For example, if one of us is having friendship troubles, instead of driving over to the other person's house in the middle of the night to egg their car, we can instead have a meaningful conversation about their hurtful behavior. It's not healthy to bottle up all of our emotions like that. Plus, no one wants to pay for all of that car damage. We must teach both children and adults the importance of the acronym PLAY, P. Pay attention to whatever you are feeling so you can L. Leave any judgment about that emotion behind. Whatever you are feeling is valid. A. Allow yourself to open up to another person so you can Y. Yield any of the shame that society has conditioned us to feel when we are vulnerable. We can all improve on opening up to the point of discomfort in some form or another, whether it's sharing an emotion with a loved one or sharing our favorite purple pen, or maybe the pink one, because we still love that one, but it's not as risky letting that one go. Sharing a valued possession or a profound emotion with another person creates a network of people who are more compassionate and caring. Maybe one of these people is even compassionate and brave enough to work at a preschool.